The Taming of Coyote, Chapter 1. The birds twittered through the trees. Their echoes lifted through the sky. The sun filtered through the branches, painting the woodland grounds a speckled beauty. It was so perfect. It was so pure. The fragrance danced and became a mixture of pine, of oak, of flowers, of dirt, and of chimney smoke from the nearby village of Turn. It was quiet out here. All there was to hear was pure nature, and it brought a sense of serenity and freedom to those who could appreciate it. Sonia was one of those sorts. She was an innocent and could appreciate the simplicities in life. It was an unusual virtue for a girl her age. Most 12-year-olds were a bit more vain and demanding. Sonia perched on the other end of the spectrum of patience and contentment. Sonia was a plain girl, enhanced by a natural beauty, but in this environment it was hard to stay presentable. She wore a yellow dress and a frock of brown. Her shoes were muddy and worn. She had put them to much use. Long, wavy, strawberry blonde hair swooned over her shoulders. She could have blended in. She was a walking autumn. To call her rustic wouldn't be too far off. Dirt smudged her cheeks and dress. Still, she maintained a certain prettiness. The woodland floor was covered with weak patches of grass, but mostly debris consisting of dirt and fallen leaves. A fallen tree rested now horizontally, awaiting time and the elements to waste it away into soil. It would take years, but for now, it was sturdy enough for simple amusement. Over it, arms out to her sides, balanced Sonia, one foot carefully placed in front of the other. It was a large trunk and easily provided ample space for her dainty body. Even if she had fallen, she would not have fallen too far or hard. She played often like this, alone, out in these forbidden yet tranquil woods. Sonia glanced over her shoulder. She felt eyes on her, yet everything seemed fairly still and normal. There was no one that she could see, but she felt as if someone was watching her. "Hello?" she called out. Somehow, she knew no one would reply. The only answers to her call were the animals. Insects buzzed and chirped, birds twittered and sang, frogs croaked, and rodents scampered over the floor and up the barks of trees. Nothing. There was nothing. Still, the feeling was slight and eerie. She forced herself to settle her nerves. A forced smile convinced her that there was nothing to fear. A deep inhale of sweet smells and a warm embrace of weather soon to depart to make way for the heralding of a new season sealed the deal to convince her that all was well. But a peek through the trees and a glimpse at the sun proved to be a shock for her. "Oh no!" she gasped. "I lost track of the time!" Quickly, she skipped from the tree branch and took to a well-paced jog. She knew this part of the woods well and could maneuver it quickly. It took a solid 15 minutes to reach the berry bushes that separated the clearing before the fences of Turn from the forbidding woods. There, she was virtually upon the village. She hopped the wooden fence in a tomboyish manner, and without skipping a step, made her way to the place she called home. There was smoke rising from many a chimney, and a mix of meat smells lingered and wafted. It was about supper time after all. The menfolk would soon be returning from their shops, their mills, and their fields and pastures. "Sonia!" came a somewhat distant call. It was familiar, and it was to be expected. "Sonia!" She'd be angry if she didn't come. There was no point for Sonia to scream from here. She would have to get closer first. So, with as much of a hurry as she could set, she rushed past the closing shops and through the square. She made her way through the trails that led to the farther reaches of Turn, towards the advances of a neighborhood of farms. "Sonia!" "I'm coming, Aunt Esther," Sonia finally called back. She made it to the yard and up the dirt walkway to the stairs of the front porch. There, a stout woman in a red dress and a white apron crossed her arms as she stared down at the child. Her face seemed pinched, and her hair was tied tightly beneath her kerchief of a brick color. "Sonia, really?" "I'm sorry, Aunt Esther," she frowned. "I forgot about the time." "Humph," she snorted. "Where were you, child?" "I was—" Sonia began nervously. She tried to find an acceptable answer. All that she could come up with was, "Around." Aunt Esther shook her head. "Around? Child, you were in them woods again, weren't you? You are hopeless. And look at you. You are a blooming mess. Hurry and get washed up. Be quick now before your uncle gets home." "Yes, Aunt Esther," Sonia sighed sadly. She huffed a little as she trudged about the house, towards the water pump in the backyard. A quick scrub and wash of her face and hands, and she hopped onto the back porch. Off came the muddy shoes, and in she went to prepare for supper. As the cups came to the wooden table, in came the man of the house. Uncle Homer was a large and stocky man. He was muscle all over, and the owner of a round belly that he claimed was like a camel's hump. He would never admit that his gut was caused by anything but water. He loved his drinks, and he felt entitled. He was a hard-working man, after all, and he supported a family. His face was covered in a thick black beard and mustache. He was quite a bear of a man that way. Dark eyes stared out from the wreath of his hair. Even though the meal had not yet started, or even reached the table, already Uncle Homer was picking at his teeth with a toothpick. "How was your day today, Uncle Homer?" Sonia asked as she set down his cloth napkin. "Rough as hell. Same as usual," he said in a gruff voice. Whatever he was picking at, he got it, and he spit it towards the corner. "Damn coons getting into things again. That lot of crop will need to come in real soon, in a real hurry. Harvest time, and if it ain't harvested right, them varmints will eat it all up and leave us high and dry come this winter." "Don't worry about it, Uncle Homer," Sonia smiled. "You'll get 'em." In reality, she couldn't care less. Perhaps she just had too much youth still left in her, that she obtained few skills that she would need in life. "What did you do today, Sonia?" he asked suddenly. "Did you make yourself useful to your auntie and townsfolk, or did you waste your day away again?" Aunt Esther bustled about with her pot and ladled stew into Uncle Homer's bowl. "She was in those woods again." Sonia sucked in a breath of air through her teeth. Uncle Homer's hard stare made her stomach turn. She was in for it now. "Sonia!" "Yep, here it comes." "Didn't we already go through all this? I've told you time and time again to stay away from them woods. They ain't no place for a little girl. They ain't even the sort of place for grown men. Carnivorous beasts, snakes, bandits, evil spirits, and them woodland devils. Ha! They ain't no place for little girls." Sonia sighed. "Uncle Homer, it's just trees and animals. I've never had a problem playing out there." "I don't want to hear another word about it, Sonia. Be obedient as long as you live under this roof. Work hard and learn domestic chores and do them well. How else will you land yourself a good husband willing to put up with you? You don't want to be some old maid, do you? Trust me, just do as I say. There ain't no good to be coming from them woods. It's dangerous to grown men, and 10 times more so to little girls like you." "I don't understand," Sonia cried. "Sonia!" Aunt Esther scolded. "Control yourself, young lady." "But I don't, Aunt Esther," she argued. "Nothing has ever happened to me, and I play out there every day. Everything is so perfect out there. It's peaceful and soothing." "Then that be the far more reason to stay away," Uncle Homer commented. "But why?" Sonia demanded. "Sonia!" "Sit down and stop this foolishness," Aunt Esther scolded again. "What has gotten into you today, child? Are you bewitched?" Uncle Homer's hand slammed onto the table, startling the females of the house. It certainly got their attention. That is not a thing to even joke about, Esther. You know that. Now the both of you, just calm down. Sonia, you just sit your fanny right there and you eat your supper. After we've cleaned up and become civilized once again, I will tell you a little story. Maybe then you will understand and heed my words.